you have to learn how to suck it up. And we make all the excuses we want, but that's, you think of the Big Ten tournament. It's at the end of the year. And sometimes you got to win 3-4 games to win it. You got to be able to do that. You get to the NCAA tournament, you got to do that. I mean, sometimes you could be the play-in game and have 3 games in a weekend. You got to be able to do that. So, if nothing else, it was good preparation for us to figure out what we got to do and how you got to do it. Not feeling sorry for yourself or not getting up. I mean, some of the things were probably mental fatigue. A few of them might have been physical fatigue. And some of them was just not knowing how hard you can go. So you better learn that you had more in you, because 2 days later, you had a practice as good as any we've had this year. You don't just recover that fast. It's because we're not going to put up with it. They didn't want to put up with it, so they got the job.
Bowie came into the league, I think, the year after you, maybe. And I'm just wondering, like, when you get a guy who's been around, who's had some success against you, who won't be intimidated by environment or anything else like that, how does that impact a game or impact preparation?
Well, I think they've kind of turned their team around. I give Chris a lot of credit. Bowie, Adish is playing much more under control. Bowie is a gunslinger. He's a Brett Favre type guy, and we know that. But where their team has changed is, yes, they've still got some guys that can make shots and take shots. They're so much better defensively. They're holding opponents down to in the 30s, high 30s field goal, and 30, I think it is, or less from the 3. So they've done an unbelievable job defensively, and I don't think he's getting enough credit for that. Yes, Bowie is a phenomenal player, one of the better players in this league. One-on-one, maybe the best player in this league. Adish can do a lot of things too. He's playing a little more point, he's a little more under control, but I think that one thing that nobody's giving credit to is their defense. The perimeter guys can do a lot. Barry, Adish, and Bowie. But right now, defensively, they've been damn good.
Is it different? What's caused their defense to improve? Just more emphasis, or is guys getting a little older? Or just...
Yeah, I don't know. Age could be one. Since all those guys been in the program, you got a little size inside, so maybe they feel they have shot blocking with 2 7-footer, 6'10" guys in there. Maybe you put more emphasis on it. Maybe it's just guys get older, more mature, and realize you can't win by just taking jump shots. So I think they've done a great job of defensive. You watch them, it's just better. I don't know why. I'm not.
That lesson that you said that they learned out of Notre Dame with the turn of Big Ten season, how critical is that to know that you got to kind of play it out every day?
I mean, I hope it's critical. I hope they understand it. And I'm still not being so stupid that I don't think anybody could have played a schedule like we played, with the travel we played, with the injuries we had. I mean, it was 3 different issues. The schedule was tough, the travel was brutal, and the injuries were hard. But at the same time, you can't go out and get beat over the top 3 times in a game. You can't. We didn't turn it over a lot. We just didn't have any energy. And it's easy to say it's because you were tired. But, that's what these preseason games are for. To learn how to do something that you don't know you can do. And hopefully next time we'll be able to suck it up a little bit better.
Did you change first day back?
3/4 of the practice he went today. Yeah, it was the first one. Out there he practiced a little bit one day, so this is practice maybe 2, and depending how he does tomorrow, how he feels tomorrow morning, then we'll make the decision whether he's going to play or not. But I think our chances are better now than they were last week. But it just depends, it's he's a little leery, as you can imagine, when it happens once. It's one thing, when it happens a second time. I think mentally you're a little bit leery. I mean, he's a tough kid. He wants to play, but there is the reality of it. I went through it with Josh. So just like players got to learn, I learned too. That it's not easy to feel those little tweaks and say, hey, that's just a scar tissue, or that's just the muscles getting better. It's always in the back of your mind, and So he's got to get through that, but I think of all kids, he will.
He's missing Malik effect.
Yeah, that's a really, really good question because what I did yesterday, I spent the whole day watching the pre-injury and the post-injury. I look at it defensively, offensively. And, like I told Malik last night, I called him late and I said, hey, coaches are just like players. You're never going to appreciate me until you leave. But maybe I didn't appreciate you as much until you were gone. And I think that happens, I think we started realizing that he just does so many little things. And defensively, we've got one guy that's lost a lot. And we have one guy who's not lost at all, meaning Malik. And so the guys that aren't lost help other guys. The guys that are lost create problems for other guys. And so, Jaden's a big loss for a lot of reasons. But Malik is kind of the heart and soul of us, both offensively and defensively. He's a different kind of player, but a little bit like Denzel was, a lot like Xavier Tillman, where he just knew where everybody was, knew how to call out things and talk, and yet could be offensive. He's a different offensive player than Xavier, but he's a little more value than I gave him credit for when I watched the 3 games, Gonzaga, Kentucky, and Villanova, and then watched the next 4 games. But it doesn't matter because he ain't going to be with us for a while, but it does matter because maybe we got to spend more time with some of those guys and understand the communication. I'm trying to get them to communicate more because there's nothing like not sure of yourself, like you got 1 or 2 guys that aren't, and then being out there, and if you don't hear anybody talking to you, it gets scary. It's like going in the basement of your house with ghosts and goblins and all those things down there, when you were a little kid. So that's what we're trying to improve on right now.
And once you've made it in the league, watching Big Ten teams do the non-conference, and what you expected and what didn't surprise you?
The league is like the country to me right now. It's great. I like Purdue. I watched them. I didn't get a chance to watch Indiana, but I know they're good. He's got everybody back. I've been impressed with Maryland and the job they've done. Illinois is got some, I think, real strengths. Ohio State, but I don't think anybody's that much better than anybody else. And you look nationally, we played the number 1 or 2, depending what poll that say. We played 3 or 4 in Kentucky. We've seen North Carolina up close. Who else did we watched Baylor, we watched Virginia. I think there's a lot of good teams. I don't think anybody's great right now. And it could be one of those years like 2010. It could be one of those years like that's why I thought we should have won it in 13 or 14 whenever Harris was here. It was just one of those years where I don't think there's an elite team out there. I think there's a lot of good teams, and then there's a lot of maybe great teams, but not a lot of elite teams.
Those last 4 games for both Pierre and the freshmen, how critical has it been in terms of development?
Well, it's going to be critical in the long run. It was difficult in the short run at times. I mean, I pick on Pierre, so everybody can know I pick on Pierre because I think he's got a chance to be a hell of a player. I mean, I look at him a lot like I did. He's a better Morris Peterson at this age, and that's a long time ago, but the similarities, remember when Morris broke his hand, for those of you that were around, that's the first time he started playing defense. And I don't know, maybe he'll break his hand. I don't think I should do that. And if I say that publicly, I guess I'd get killed. But my point is, he's got to put an emphasis because it's not women's basketball of the 50s or whenever it was in Iowa where they played one end, 3 on 3. I'll tell you what, I'd bet on Pierre there. He'd be the best player in the world, and he knows it, but it's a matter of focusing in and doing something about it because he's good enough to do it. Now I think playing the number of minutes he's had to play in those short times hurts him a lot. In fairness, we have no choice on that. So, it's not all his fault, but if he gets better defensively, he's going to be a hell of a player.
He looks like he's taking coaching well. He's got his knees bent. He's alert, a little more alert than he was.
He's a great kid, great family. Dad's a coach, Mom's kind of a coach. It's been great. That part is great. But he was thrown in, everybody, watch what you wish for, I want to play more. Okay? Oh, you're playing more. I want to play a lot more. Okay, now you're playing a lot more. There goes a responsibility with that, and the responsibility is you better be in the best shape of your life. So things maybe that you didn't do as well early, you don't get away with now, and people go at you. One thing about scouting at this level, they know a weak link, they know a strong link. They're going to go at somebody, and so he's just got to improve. But I think he's going to, because of what you just said, he takes coaching pretty well, and he wants to be a player. So I got faith that he's gonna, but to answer your question, the experience those guys are getting is gonna be worth a lot, because everybody wears down as the Big Ten season goes, and I think we're gonna have, where we were probably gonna have little depth, now I think we're gonna have pretty good depth if some of those guys are coming off the bench that are playing.
Were you using Cooper some of the 4 too?
Yeah, we did.
He
was
goes
by
from
necessity.
not being a red shirt to...
Yeah, think of him, and we're chewing him out too, because he's got so much stuff to do. But going from maybe redshirting to playing center, now to play power forward and learn all those things, man, that's a job, But I really, we like the kid a lot, and yet we just don't have time. Where it's hard for a parent, for media, it'd be nice if you just kind of let him go along gradually. We had games to win. So we have to try to speed the process up because of the situation we're in with injury. And that's not good right now, and I think it's going to be good for our future. It's probably not great for them right now, but I think it's going to be great for them for their future. And I'm always a big picture guy.
The 2 kids on the football team, have they talked to you at all?
Yeah, I talked to Keon a little bit. I'm going to talk to Mel. Keon's got that hip thing that he had towards the end of the year, so we told him to take a little time off, but I think Malik wants to play, but I think in a different position than Keon, both in basketball and in football, and I think he harder to play 2 sports at his position than it is Keon. So I've talked to Malik a little bit. The next thing will be to talk to Mel, but I knew I wasn't going to do anything now because of Keon's injury. Or not, he's not injured, but he's just rehabbing that thing a little bit. So probably by the end of the week, Mel and I will talk. Maybe next week we'll bring him aboard, or the week after. We'll see.
Plus, they're not totally done yet, are they? Officially?
Buffalo won today, so I think that
They're done.
Is
that official?
Pretty much official.
It's pretty much official.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. We're definitely not doing anything to interfere with football. Not doing it. I know if I told Mel, hey, I lost 3 guards in practice, I need Keon, I know he'd give them to me. But I also want to do what's best in order, what's best for Keon, because he's got a future in football for sure. What's best for Mel Tucker in the football program second, and then we'll take the scraps. What's best for us will be third.
It's a little farther out, but just when you were talking about those young guys and getting them some coaching, that gap that you have coming up. Obviously, you got 2 Big Ten games before that, another game, but it seems like that gap's going to be a critical teaching point.
Critical. As Christmas usually is. The problem is we don't get as much Christmas as we used to, but we are going to have some time there because of the number of games we had to play, just because of the way the Big Ten tournament, Gavitt games, everything was all in that period of time in November, So we are going to get a little time in there. Now we do have finals in there, but I think we'll get some time to really work on us, and hopefully by then Jaden will be back 90%, no matter what, it's going to take him a couple weeks. And, I don't expect Malik back for Christmas, or around there. So it'll be a good time though for everybody. Of all the guys that'll pick up things, Malik will be the best of them because he picks up everything. But
Does that slow down help with the guy so he's not trying to rush back for whatever game?
we're going to be smart with him, but he's been fun on the bench. He's really grown a lot as a coach. I mean, he says stuff in huddles and says stuff in the locker room that's really, really good. And I told him last night, I called him when I figured out that you're going to miss me someday, Malik. I'm going to miss you right now. I figured that out. I told him that he's got to keep doing that because it's going to make him a better player. You see things from the bench, and you see things from somewhere else when you're not playing a lot better than you see in the yard. He's been able to help some guys with that. And all that being said, Hauser has still, practiced and played. He's been unbelievable. So that's encouraging. He can play through a sprained ankle. He can do things that I don't think he did as good a job of last year. And he's kind of on a mission himself, and it's been really, really positive for us. If I'm going to still get AJ going a little bit, and Tyson had a bad game, but he's had a pretty good couple of weeks until then. So, you're going to see a different Northwestern Penn State team than you've seen. These two games, Penn State is playing really well, and that's down the road. But Northwestern, with those four guys back, that Durant kid, at 6'10", is a lot like Joey. And those three guards now, you got two seniors and a junior. The Barry kid is as good a shooter in this league, So it'll be interesting. But we know we got our work cut out because we're still not, we're not going to be 100% back from everything. When you think about, what we've done, it's going to take a while. All right, guys. Thanks, guys.